In India, they call this neti neti. Not this, not that. So once we do neti neti, and we find out, well, only thing we found out so far is that we're not a Fred. And we notice that the body, which seemed perfectly good evidence of a Fred, is no evidence of a Fred whatsoever. There's not even any really direct connection to it with this body, except for the connections that we make where? In our heads. In our heads, there's now a blossoming Fred unit. And when the parents take the Fred unit to school and they introduce it to the teacher, immediately, that, let's say, 4-year-old is going to say, wow, this is my school. This is my teacher. This is my desk. It's adding to the Fred story as fast as it can. And so it makes it more believable to you, because now the baby is hallucinating the same shit you are. And it's not really hallucinating. It's a matter of, it's just not seeing the lie. The lie is that there's a Fred there. The only thing the baby can see is the body. But you have so far convinced it that it does not feel like that. It never felt like it was this body, but you've convinced it, and it now will tell you, it will say, Fred. And they get some of those, once they get those names, they're so proud of them, right? They write them on everything, and they tell everybody, I'm Fred, rather than because I'm beginning to, now that I'm developing a sense of identity, I'm beginning to like it. Why? Because it sets me apart. Now that I'm special, I have the ability to acquire. I have the ability to expand. it's just like a little truck. We just keep adding stuff in the back. And I'm adding that, Fred is nice because Fred is the good one, surely. And Fred knows that, even if you don't. And we add and we add and we add. It's not about a Fred, because there ain't one. So let's just go and climb the chain. There's something that in identification, which we think of as the Holy Trinity of identification, which is we have the driver's license, we have, we have the birth certificate, we have the driver's license, and we have the passport. Every one of those things leads to the next. So let's go to and see how a driver's license comes about. And let me tell you how I got mine. So when I was 15, the only thing I could really think about was girls. I mean, I tried to think about other stuff, but I just did not have any interest in anything but girls. And I had 2 brothers that were older than I was, and they had been through this stage of life already. So they knew what was going on. And they said, Fred, if you want to get a girlfriend, then as soon as you're 16, you need to go down and get a driver's license. And I got to tell you, it was great advice. I mean, it worked then and it works now. It worked all the way through Betsy, right? And so on the day that this unit turned 16, it went into the cabinet and it got the Fred birth certificate. And then it went in and got the Fred mother. And the Fred mother drove the Fred unit down to the highway department. And we stood in line, and then we got up to the counter, and I was so excited. I tossed down the birth certificate, and I said, my name is Fred Davis, and I'm 16 today, and I want a driver's license. And this document proves that I'm a Fred Davis. And if you don't believe the document, you can ask my mother. She's right here. And they're kind of said, no, I don't think we need to bother your mother on this. We'll just accept what it said on the document. So I was thrilled at this. So I took a couple of tests, and what did they do? They issued me a driver's license. And what they did was they gave the same basic description, or much of the same description that was on the birth certificate. Still had dark hair, still had dark eyes, still didn't have any scars. It was a little bit longer. We changed it from longer to taller. And it weighed a bit more, but it was still talking about the body. So there is something in legal world, whenever I get attorneys as clients, they love this courtroom. I mean, they really do. And it shocks them. And I hope it shocks you. And in the legal world, there's something called the poison pen principle. No, excuse me, I'm sorry, the poison tree principle. And what the poison tree principle says is that tree, let's call it that tree, but that there's a principle that is false at the bottom, and that's the poison tree. And which just means that whatever is at the bottom of that tree, which is the Fred Davis part, is false. And when you have once you have a false document, if you use that as the basis for further documentation, that's the poison fruit. Do you see? Because the driver's license came straight from the birth certificate. And when I had those two, I took them right down and I went to the passport office and I presented those two documents and I said, hello, my name is Fred Davis. I'm an American. I want a passport. Here's my documentation. And they took it too. They bought it. And what they did was they just took all my documentation and they screwed around for a while. And, I think it actually took a few weeks for it to come in the mail. But then sure enough, here came a passport. And now this is like the truly the holiest thing in the Holy Trinity, right? Because you can take that thing all over the world and present it. And anybody says, who are you? You can look here. And they'll believe it. I mean, they'll let you into their country. They'll let you do all kinds of things. They will let you, there are documents that I've seen them. And these documents say that that you need 2 pieces of ID in order to call it a legitimate signature on this document, unless one of them is a passport. But if one of them is a passport, we're in. So it just takes the passport because it's the Holy Trinity and that's the holiest part. But you can see it's a poison tree. One thing leads to the next, and we just gobble it up ourselves. And then what do? We train you guys. Yeah. So I'm the judge. You're supposed to be presenting evidence, but I won't take your birth certificate because I know that's just bogus as the day is long. It works in relativity. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's useless. I recommend that everybody have these documents that needs them. They don't do anything except to help you get through relativity. But even though that's just an experience, it's important. We want to play by the rules as long as we believe there's a relativity and that we're in it. So we can't find a Fred at the end of documentation. What we come up with is thin air. There's no Fred, but there's nothing else either except what? The body. And we're sold on the fact that this body is what we really are.